After self-abandoning in my romantic relationships my entire adult life, I went on to spend thousands of dollars and 15 years of my life trying to become more emotionally available. And what I learned is that if you're emotionally unavailable, it's not because you're incapable of healthy love. It's because your nervous system and body have never learned what safe, healthy love feels like. In this video, I'm going to compress those 15 years into a clear 30-day plan so you can stop being pulled into relationships that feel familiar but ultimately cost you years of your life. So the goal of this plan and becoming emotionally available is to build an internal anchor inside yourself, what's called earned secure attachment. And by anchor, I mean a tangible feeling of being at peace and at home inside your body, a felt sense of connection to yourself, a knowing of who you are. It's like an internal felt place in your body where you feel safe and confident that you can process any emotion or situation that arises in your life, and connected to your true self, your identity, who you actually are without trauma-driven behaviors, and secure in who and what is and isn't right for you. That informs your decisions, actions, and overall behavior. And when you have that internal anchor, you know the difference between your trauma and your truth. You stop chasing chemistry and dopamine to get superficial attachment needs met, and you trust yourself to navigate any relationship situation, and you develop self-esteem and self-worth because you're always acting in your own best interest. Basically, you relate to others from stability rather than survival. And rather than people-pleasing, overextending, being hypervigilant, you feel confident and secure in yourself. So to build this anchor in our 30-day plan, we're going to focus on three things. Firstly, learning safety in your body. Not physical safety, but actual emotional safety. Working with your nervous system to be able to metabolize and process emotions rather than be fearful of what lives inside your internal world. Secondly, we'll look at repairing your internal relationship with yourself after years, maybe a lifetime of repressing your emotions and being cut off from the neck up. And then thirdly, we'll look at sensory embodiment, and that's using all the senses to learn embodiment. And that teaches your nervous system to be attracted to and recognize healthy love. This process doesn't involve any journaling, meditation, or cognitive processes. This is a fully embodied practice, and I'll do my best to walk you through it now so that you can actually start today. So let's start right now, because this is day one. Today is all about coming back into the body, awakening to what is arising in you. You're not trying to solve anything, not trying to figure deep things out about yourself. It's just about coming out of your head and beginning to make contact with your body. And for many women that have attachment wounds or emotional unavailability, this all comes with disconnection from your body, right? You learned very early on that it was safer to monitor other people than to feel yourself. And in fact, you might be really scared of what you uncover, and that makes a lot of sense. And it might even feel too scary to start to feel what's in your body. So if you're worried about beginning this with day one, I really want you to practice these first. So take a screenshot right now. This is a complete list of sensory-based self-soothing skills. So looking at sight firstly, orienting is one of the most powerful practices that I would offer to you. Really learning how to orient, and these are all some other sight-based self-soothing skills. Body awareness, proprioception, even, being able to just connect to your body's experience as you move, very powerful. Touch, tactile regulation. So any kind of self-holding, holding yourself, wrapping yourself up, weighted blankets, tapping, using different temperatures to affect the nervous system and the skin. These are all beautiful ways to self-soothe. The breath is obviously one of the most immediate ways we can access and calm the nervous system and the body. So practicing different types of breathing, like box breathing, slow breathing, sighing out, any type of prana work is going to be beautiful. Movement, you probably know that when you go to the gym and work out that you do get a certain feeling, you have these chemicals go through your body. There are so many other ways that we can use movement to regulate the nervous system and feel safe in the body. In particular, I love rocking gently, swaying. I'm a big fan of those. Walking with my pet, obviously, but these are slower types of movement. And I want to just let you know here, slowness is really impactful when you learn slow movement, because slowness is the love language of the nervous system. So the more you're able to access a slower movement, it actually lets the body kind of catch up with knowing, I'm actually safe in this moment. And then if you can, any type of social regulation, if you've got friends that are safe to be with, or simply a pet or a therapist, ways that you can just be with others, because we are wired for connection, and co-regulate even in the mildest of ways. Even if you have no friends and there's just one person you can go to the movies with and just sit with, it's just so useful to practice this co-regulation. So practice these if you're worried about doing any of this 30-day practice, and when you're ready, come back to day one. So assuming you have access to a level of safety because of those previous practices, let's begin with day one. Your job is to notice your body. Set aside 10 or 20 minutes, even 5 minutes, whatever is tolerable for you. And your job is just to sit, lie down, or stand somewhere quietly and ask, what is happening in my body right now? What am I noticing in my body? What sensations are here? And you might not notice anything, because this is a new skill. It's literally a new skill of focus. So again, any of those safety practices will allow you to have tactile sensations, like if you're pressing your arm, for instance, or holding yourself. Practice one of those skills while asking your question, what is happening in my body right now as I hold myself? And then if you're able to drop into the body and be attuned to more movement, activation, that is even more powerful. And most importantly, the real focus of day one is that when your monkey mind takes over and you start thinking and overthinking, you just simply redirect to the body. That in itself is really the day one practice, and will take you probably more than a day to fully learn, but just start today. Start with 5 minutes, even a few minutes, and just simply make contact with the body. One instance of contact is amazing. Even if you discover, like I said, you can't feel much, there is still awareness there. If all you notice is, I just want to get up and distract myself, that is still awareness. So if you're truly dedicated, I challenge you, press pause on this video right now, on this slide that I'm about to show you, close your eyes and be still for a few minutes, and notice if you feel any sensations in your body. So I challenge you, if you're truly dedicated, press pause on this slide now and take a screenshot if you want. Just close your eyes for a few minutes and be still. Notice if you feel into any sensations in your body, and just let the slide be a reference, right? Just sense into your chest. Is there warmth, coolness? Do you notice there's any movement in your body, trembling or shaking? What's your breath doing, right? Just use this slide as a way to prompt where in your body you are inquiring within. Day one is the ultimate act of just redirection from externalizing your attention to internalizing your attention. And it's really the first step towards safety. So let's look at days 2 to 10 now. This is about expanding on awareness and safety, and establishing safety in the body, right? Building 3 capacities mainly in the body. That is awareness, self-attunement, and nervous system flexibility. Instead of what you currently do, which is suppression of your emotions or bypassing with a distraction, you want to build a base of safety in the body that it can securely return to after activation, which is a type of internal secure attachment. So this is about teaching the body it can safely start to feel without being flooded or overwhelmed, because you do it in small amounts, which is called titration, and it always comes back to a safe base. You've got that safety there, the body knows that you can come back to it. So your focus of this phase is to firstly notice activation, right? So you're actually noticing in your body what is coming up. So when something happens in your mind, when you notice as you're moving throughout your day that a strong emotion might arise, when that happens, there is some kind of activation going on in the body. This is what I want you to notice, using those skills from before. What is going on in my chest? What's going on in my gut? That activation, as small and nuanced as possible that you can begin to notice, is going to allow you to start to connect with what's going on. And make sure when you're doing this, you're not diving into it, right? Just touch the edges of it. We're not trying to flood the system and the body too soon in this process, which brings us to the second step, which is to establish safety. Now, establishing safety is about working with the nervous system so that you can feel grounded, so that you can feel safe in this moment. And the quickest and easiest way to do this is, I believe, with the breath. So come back to the breath and start practicing and leaning into different types of breathwork activities, patterns of breath, making sure the out breath is longer, box breathing, any of those types of breathwork practices. And you can Google self-soothing. There's a lot of soothing practices that I've already given you at the start of this video. Go back to that earlier slide and practice those as well. They will all allow you to continue to build up a base of safety in your body. Grounding with contact. This is a really important thing. This is something that our body and nervous system requires. Connection to the earth, connection to the chair that you're seated on. And when you ground, this is a practice of attention. You're actually making sure you're noticing how your body is receiving and contacting the ground, the chair. So a beautiful practice to do is to lie on the ground belly down to get immediate access from the earth. That natural energy that comes from the earth will come through the body and naturally ground it. Using any kind of environment that really works well for your body and your nervous system, notice that and ground to it. Even walking up to a tree, connecting to it, I'll let you figure out what's right for you and your body. And then after we've been practicing noticing the activation, we want to, with enough safety and grounding in the body, start to stay with mild sensation. So again, we're not diving into the sensation as it arises. We're just staying with mild sensation. And what we're actually doing, and this is what I coach my clients, is to imagine you're touching the edges of the sensation. Say something's come up in your throat or in your chest and you're feeling tension, tightness, or heat and a lot of warmth. Rather than kind of diving into it and being completely overwhelmed or blown out by it, just touch the edges of it, notice it, stay in the body, focus on actually attuning to what the physical sensation is. What is the temperature, the texture, the color, right? What image comes to you as you're connecting to this, and just stay with it mildly. If it starts to overwhelm you, stop the practice, go back to any kind of safety work that works for you. And throughout this process, as long as you're able to stay with a bit of the mild sensation, the emotion should begin to move. If it doesn't, no problem. But the natural process of connecting to and paying attention and focusing on what's going on in the body has this beautiful way of allowing that emotion to move. And that's because the body knows how to complete the stress cycle. We often just need to set up the internal circumstances for that to happen. So you might notice through days 2 to 10 as you practice these principles that when you connect with something, you'll start to feel a tingling or a downward movement or some expansion. So actual physical somatic sensations that move in the body rather than them just kind of being stuck there, which is also absolutely fine. So the more you practice this, hopefully the more you'll notice that there is movement going on in the body. Now, this phase might take more than 10 days, so please take your time. At the end of this phase, you really want to be able to answer these questions. What helps my body soften? What sensations tell me I'm activated? And what regulation tools actually work for me? And what does safety feel like in my body, even subtly? Now let's move on to days 11 to 20. This is all about connecting to and repairing your relationship with your emotions, your survival strategies, which we call internal parts, internal children, inner protectors. There's lots of different names, so that rather than ignoring or fighting to suppress them, they actually begin to feel seen, heard, understood, and even loved by you. What parts of you so desperately needed when you were young, but they didn't get them. So that's what we're giving to them now. So the 3 principles we'll be practicing in this next phase is reconnection to these parts, unblending from them, which will make sense in a minute, and repairing and reconciling your relationship to them. So this is the process of reparenting your parts by reconnecting to them, which means to become aware that in this particular moment, your inner child of, say, age 4, who's desperately afraid of being abandoned, is actually making the decision to reach out to your ex, not your higher adult self that knows your ex is unhealthy for you. And in doing so, that reconnection and seeing her as a part of you, that allows you to unblend from her, which means she effectively takes her sticky hands off the steering wheel and you put her in the back seat so that you, the adult, are now in control. Because parts like a wounded 4-year-old inner child will be in control whenever you are unaware of them and disconnected from them. So unblending is really about attention and focusing on them and having awareness around them, and then things naturally unblend. And lastly, the focus is repair and reconciliation with this part, doing deep inquiry in the body, not just in the mind about what this part needs and feels, so it can be witnessed, and in that secure internal connection of you witnessing it, it unburdens its deepest fears and finally feels seen and loved by you, the adult, which it so desperately wants. Now, those words and phrases might seem unusual, but literally while we're connecting to it and repairing our connection to it, that part is able to process its emotions in that moment most of the time, which is what unburdening is, as long as it feels truly connected to and seen and loved by you. So skills to work on during this time are firstly to just become aware of your wounded inner child. Now, I don't particularly like the term inner child. This is really the wound that lives in the body that is getting activated by the presence of your ex breaking up with you, or, you being sort of triggered or activated in some way. And whenever you feel deep loneliness, deep sadness, those feelings of, oh my God, I might die without him, these are all emotions and feelings of your wounded inner child. Now, I'm not wanting you to dive in and blow yourself outside of your window of tolerance by feeling them. I just want you to become aware of them, and remembering you've just built on days 2 to 10 with a lot of safety practices and grounding practices. So as you move into days 11 to 20, continue that practice of just touching the edges slightly and lightly, as if you've got cotton gloves on, of any of these hot places that you feel. So becoming aware of the wounded inner child and however she manifests in you, typically in the form of these really deep, hard to feel emotions. And then becoming aware of the protector that protects the inner child. And you might start by working and connecting to your inner critic, which is usually the main protector that's working there. Out of the hundreds of women that I've worked with, the majority of them have some kind of inner critic protecting that wounded inner child. So it's easy to become aware of the inner critic because we all are aware of ways that we speak critically towards ourselves, right? Like phrases we have, words that come out, and often they actually sound like a critical parent that we had growing up. So whenever you notice those words, try, if you can, you'll have that cognitive awareness of the self-talk, but see if it actually lives somewhere in your body as well. Just notice if you can connect that feeling. And sometimes it's when I speak in that way to myself, I'm feeling tension in my gut or tension in my throat. So as you begin to have more awareness around your inner critic, see if you can extend that awareness into your soma, into your body. And that leads you to the next kind of aspect, which is to practice RAIN to uncover your needs. Now, RAIN is a tool that I teach inside Heal Your Heart School, and I've taught it on this channel a few times. The practice and steps of RAIN are to recognize that part, and then to allow that part to be there and to speak. So if it was your inner critic that you're connecting to, rather than when you notice those words come up and those critical words, and it's just you get so shocked that you would say that to yourself, actually allow it. This seems really counterintuitive, but listen to what that part has to say. And particularly if you've identified somatically where the protector is, this will make the process of allowing easier. So feel into where it is in the body and just say to it, I'm here for you. I thank you for being a part of me. I'm listening now. What have you got to say? And this is the I part of RAIN, which is investigating more. So asking this part, wherever it is in the body, what do you need to feel safe by me? What do you need to feel loved? And this is the part where we get to actually uncover the needs. Now, this process, some of you might be able to go with this, and maybe you've been practicing it up until now. Let me know in the comments below if you have and it's been working for you. But if you are hearing me talk about this RAIN practice thinking, I've got no idea what this is, this sounds great, but I can't do this on my own, I really invite you to book a call with me and have a chat with me to see if we're a fit inside Heal Your Heart School. The link is below. But really in that moment, you might get fragments from your part. You might not get, I really need this. So when you're in the investigation stage and you're listening to where your inner critic, asking it what it needs to actually feel safe, you might just get a flash of a color or an image or a sense of something. And again, that's your trailhead. I want you to follow that and find out more. Keep inquiring. Do this for 5 minutes a day. You'd be so blown away at how profound this RAIN practice is to uncover the needs of these parts. And then the last part is to nurture and repair connection, which is actually the end step of RAIN. And this looks like giving that part what they've asked for. So in the eye investigation of rain, that part hopefully gave you some indication of what it needs. And often the words that my clients get in general from their youngest parts are, I need you to listen, or I just need you to be here with me, or I just need to feel loved, I need to feel safe. And they're very simple requests. And the reason for that is because those parts are extremely young. When we were young, our cognition was a lot more simple. We had much more simple needs. Those simple needs still went unmet that we can meet now. And a great way to nurture and repair the connection with either the inner child or the inner critic is just closing down your eyes and just coming into the body, feeling into the body and noticing, like, when it's talking about what it wants, what could that look like? You know, a way to visit with your inner child is just in your mind's eye, creating a world, it can be a fantasy world of what she wants in her world, like a beautiful plush room with gorgeous comfortable couches, and or maybe a pony that she can ride on and you're leading the pony, or just sitting on a couch together hugging them. You know, the body doesn't know the difference between what you're projecting and thinking in your mind and what's actually going on physically. So you can create these amazing internal worlds in which to nurture and repair the connection you have with both of these parts. And the state that you say these words in when you're connecting to these parts matters a lot more than words. So if you're doing this and there's a really strong skeptic part that's like, I don't believe that this kind of thing can work, just ask that skeptic part to take a step back, come back into safety, and see if you can then connect more meaningfully to that part, that little part or the protector part, right? Just saying to it, I'm here. This makes so much sense to me. I understand why you feel this way, and I can feel how much this matters to you. I'm listening. You don't have to do this alone anymore. It's okay to feel this way. Now, you might also notice that when you do this, a huge emotion comes up and you can't actually complete it, or you always get overwhelmed by emotion. If that happens to you, you might need to lean back a lot more into days 2 to 10 and just building up more of a safety practice for yourself so that these parts can begin to feel more connected and grounded to you, and not like they've got to push through and sort of overwhelm you with all the things that they're feeling. And again, this phase that we just went through is probably going to take up more than 10 days, and that's okay. But at the end of this phase, your goal here and objective is to be able to recognize when a part is active in your internal world and to do a rain to repair your connection to it. And from doing this, you should experience more internal space and agency rather than being crowded by a whirlpool of emotions and parts speaking loudly at you. So let's move on to the last phase now, which is repairing your internal relationship. And this is about sensory embodiment of what healthy love looks and feels like. Similar to the sense that you've been cultivating like internally in the end step of rain, which is where you're leaning into like this nurturing kind of version of you that can reparent your parts. In this, you'll be largely leaning into safe connections with others or creating them with new others, and maintaining this self-connection that you've been building in the first 2 phases whilst in contact with others, so that you're not moving into the self-abandoning behaviors from prior. So there are 3 aspects of practice in this last phase. The first one is kinesthetic embodiment of healthy love, and the second is regulating with safe others, and that could be new safe others or old safe others. And the third is self-connection whilst in those relationships. So let's firstly go through the kinesthetic embodiment of healthy love to begin with. Now, these are the aspects of healthy love that I want to focus on today. I feel like these are the most beneficial to do in terms of sensory embodiment. So these aspects are being met as an equal by someone else, feeling safe and steady in love, speaking and being heard without fear, being supported without needing to earn it, feeling safe to say no and having boundaries, and being fully yourself within relationship. Now, right at the moment, you're engaging with this lesson and these points with your mind, which makes a lot of sense. But what we're actually going to start to do now is to engage with these points with our body, right? Instead of your mind. So coming back to this being met as an equal. What does it feel like to be treated as an equal in your body? Imagine expressing an opinion, and instead of being dismissed, you're met with someone that says, I hear you. That makes sense. Notice what happens in your body. Maybe as I say that to you, do you notice that your shoulders drop a bit or your chest softened? I noticed that my stomach expanded a little bit. Do you feel that you can take up a little bit more space, right? As a result of that. That's what respect feels like in the body. Not proving, not performing, just simply being met as an equal. Next, feeling safe and steady in love. So imagine being with someone who is consistent, right? In the way that they show up, in the way that they speak to you, they are completely consistent pretty much all the time, barring a little bit of wavering, as opposed to the hot and cold, confusing, uncertain kind of roller coaster you've likely been on. This person is just steady. You know that they'll show up, you know that they'll be honest, and you hear words from them like, I'm here. I'm here. You don't have to do this alone. Just notice your body as you imagine this, your breath, your belly, your jaw. Like, is there softening there, or maybe something braces, right? Both are okay. We're just teaching your body to start to recognize safety. And if this brings out tension in you going through this is really important to recognize. You might have blocks. And if that's the case, I encourage you to revisit the first 2 phases of this 30-day plan. In terms of communication, we're speaking and being heard without fear. Picture having a difficult conversation with someone that you love, but instead of conflict, there's actually collaboration, right? That person is coming from the intention of, we're on the same team, right? We're on this team and this issue's on the other side. I want to understand you. I want to understand this issue. Just feel into your body the potential of being with someone like that, right? Are you collapsing, or are you feeling upright and grounded and present? Right? Just notice your somatic response to this. Healthy communication does not feel like walking on eggshells. It feels like staying in your body while being heard. Like you can actually maintain this self-connection because the person you're speaking to is giving you the space to do so. You're not having to override yourself or be in any kind of like exaggerated pursuit state while you're with them. There is so much space between the two of you that you have plenty of time to speak from this embodied state. Now, being supported without needing to earn it. I want you to imagine someone standing beside you, like not above you or ahead of you, but just beside you, right? Like they believe in you. They're with you. They celebrate you. They're present, right? They say things like, you don't have to do this alone. Like, I'm here. I've got you. We're going to get through this together. Or I'm so incredibly proud of your achievements. Like, they're not trying to make you feel small. They're not feeling jealous, right? Actually feel in this moment the sense of someone supporting you fully. And you don't have to earn it at all. They're supporting you just as you are. And at the same time, like, feel your feet on the ground, because healthy love is not dependency. It's support, right? It's support meeting support. So you're not overly relying on the other person. Both of you support each other equally. It's like always having a ground that you can stand on and being that same ground for someone else. Now, in terms of boundaries, imagine saying just the words, no, that doesn't work for me, without excusing it, without feeling guilt. No, that doesn't work for me. And instead of pushback from that person, you're met with, okay, I respect that, right? Notice in your body, how does that feel? Do you expect conflict? Is your mind thinking, of course there's going to be an issue with that, or I didn't say it right? Where in your body do you tense? And is there any sense of relief there, any space or permission that is coming from within? Your nervous system needs to learn over time that no doesn't equal rejection. So it's difficult to practice this with people in general, right? You might not have a circle of people that you can feel safe to say no around. So practice doing this on your own. Practice a scenario where, you've had to set a boundary before and the response is actually, okay, that I respect that, right? I get it. That's you. Like, actually start to feel that in your body, what possibilities that unlocks for you. And then lastly, being yourself fully within a relationship. This is being in a relationship where you just don't have to shrink, right? You still have your life, your interests, your space. You can go see your friends, you can go out, you can take time alone without any guilt. And most importantly, you can actually grow without being pulled back because that other person feels insecure, right? Feel into your body here, imagining being in a relationship where you're growing, you're improving, and the other person is again just there supporting you, right? Listening to you. You feel safe and steady in it. It's not unsafe to grow in that relationship. Is there expansion in your body? Like, notice somatically what's happening now as you feel into that. What's going on? Healthy love doesn't feel like restriction. It feels like I can just fully be myself and still be loved, right? Now, in addition to just feeling into your body about how that might feel, you can get more granular with your senses. I want you to imagine listening and hearing the tone of safety from your loved one. So their voice is slow, steady, and grounded. They're saying to you, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. There's no sharpness, no urgency, no edge. So notice that rhythm of that softness, and notice what that does to your body when you're actually imagining hearing that. Let's look at touch, right? So if you imagine that you are holding your hand with someone else, and just in your mind's eye, let yourself rest in their hand, right? It's not tight, not loose, just enough pressure to feel held. And just notice the sensation of being supported by that hand holding yours without any kind of force. And feel the comfort and the safety and the warmth of that. Let's move to visual embodiment now. So imagine seeing the face of someone who is super present with you, right? Your partner sitting beside you. Their body is relaxed, their shoulders are down, their eyes are soft, and they're attentive. They're looking at you, not past you. There's no tension in their face, no irritation, no withdrawal. So just in your mind's eye, close your eyes if you need to. What does calm, steady attention look like to you? And how does that feel in your body? Where do you soften? Where does this feel good? And again, if you notice tension, if you notice resistance to any of these aspects of healthy relationship, that is so welcome here. And it is a sign to revisit those first two aspects of the program, of the 30-day plan, in particular, the safety aspect. These last two principles, being safe with others and practicing the 50-50 rule, these are actually about going out into your real life and practicing these in relationships, right? So firstly, regulating with safe others. This is so important. And you can begin to do this sooner on in your 30-day plan if you want. If you have safe friends, a safe therapist or coaches, just allow yourself to be with them. Feel the safety of that connection and just allow yourself to rest in that safety, right? And if you struggle to do that in relationship, it makes a lot of sense. The safety work that you do in the first part of this 30-day plan will directly impact your ability to feel safe with safe others. Now, this takes discernment, right? We actually do need to be with safe others, not others that are judging you or you need to feel small around, or ones that kind of prompts you to go into old behavior patterns like people pleasing. And the best way that I found this person was to actually have and hire a very good safe therapist to start with. So whoever that looks like for you, allow yourself to regulate with those people and enjoy that safe connection. And then the other thing is to practice this 50-50 rule. And I teach this a little bit on this channel. I want you to imagine that between two people, there is 100% of space. 50% of it is yours, 50% of it is the other person. And what we want to do when we're with someone is not to go into their 50% and not to abandon our 50%. We want to stay in our 50% whilst we're also with them. And that is actual attention, like actually allowing yourself to be with your body while you're listening to them, while they're talking, whatever that looks like. And this allows self-connection while you're in connection with others. And a great way to practice that is with safe others. You're probably going to find it difficult to do the 50-50 rule with someone that is like an energy vampire or someone who demands a lot of attention from you. That is not a safe person. I really recommend you limit your time with people like that while you're doing this 30-day plan. And as you do this more and more, you will be able to tolerate being around those people more and staying in your 50%. And honestly, it's not going to look like you are able to be in all of your 50% at the start, because you might be used to completely merging with other people when you're with them, particularly someone that you love. You might not have any awareness of yourself and you're just kind of completely enamored with them. Just see if you can bring 10% of your awareness back to your body, back to how you are, back to your thoughts, bringing yourself into it, and, edge your way up to 50%. Now, this is a lot for 30 days. This is jam-packed content. I'm aware of it. So let's just focus on some of the outcomes that you want to look at. And if you notice this is going to take a lot more than 30 days, just take what you can, do what you can. So some of the outcomes are that you can stay with your feelings. You can stay in relationship with yourself. You can sense healthy love without panic. You can detect unsafe dynamics earlier, and you no longer need intensity to feel connection. So see how you go. Give yourself grace and time as you do it. Take what you can. Don't feel like you have to do the entire 30-day plan. And really, if you're looking to this and thinking, gosh, I really need help with it, I really encourage you not to try and do it on your own. This is really what I do. What I'm best at is inside Heal Your Heart School, supporting people to do this. And I have a step-by-step program that shows you how to actually really do this. So if that's you, I encourage you to book a consultation call with me. We'll see if we're a fit to work together. The link for that is in the description below. And in the meantime, here are some next step videos for you to watch so you can move one step closer to having a beautiful, healthy relationship to yourself. And for now, I will see you in the next video.